high level of technology and spirituality. We had no choice. So when we die, we all reincarnate. Even gods died too, as almost all did in Lemuria and Atlantis. But when our souls are consumed, it is understood that they cannot return. As war progressed, we were losing terribly, as using nuclear warheads on entire cities like India were not enough. Yahweh and the other 9 godheads decided to sever the neural net and to inhibit our weaker links by letting them reincarnate, that was the plan. But is a collective and individual choice, as is drinking from the well of destiny. The well of forgetfulness. So try and for more on this, go to Q30 as it explains this process in full. And the well of forgetfulness will allow you to understand why we're going through all this craziness and that we don't die. So we can accept people dying. We can allow for other people to get better and stronger if they can't do it in this lifetime because they have too much negative karma. But I mean, in the beginning, if you know how to tactfully attack everything, we'll all have a decent choices to make in order to evolve ourselves in the right intelligent way, and in that way you can sever your ties from destiny and become your own agent of your own destiny. So that would be 30, and go to Destiny and check those out, and make sure you read 21 and Destiny would be Q3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this was not enough, as we had to purify the entire civilization in India, Babylon, the Gobi Desert, which is Mongolia. The weaker links was the consensus, and the result of other wars, or just battles, were because they were lingering, or sometimes negative entities actually can escape into our world from stargates. So that's why they had to turn those off. That wasn't a choice. And so by doing this, drinking from the well of forgetfulness, a joint decision, a human civilization decision, the weaker link was the consensus population. We inherited our spiritual might and intellect, therefore also inherit a risk-taking venture in potential capabilities. Would you believe that if a child 10,000 years ago used the neural net, they would be smarter than Einstein today, as they really are just reading information downloaded and accessed from within their minds, just like Wi-Fi. So, when these beings infiltrated our reality, they easily consumed the souls and possessed the bodies of the early humans. This happened because individually, we at the time, and as a matter of fact, used the neural net to artificially boost our intelligence, which meant that today, individually, we're not nearly as gifted. Or, which meant previously, individually, we're not nearly as gifted. So, point in fact, a child's IQ is really not supposed to be beyond Einstein's, or even close to 95. which by today's standard is embarrassing. But mind you, you can't see it that way simply because their educational level is very low. They didn't have any books. They didn't have any books. They couldn't afford books because papyrus was expensive to reproduce in mass production, and we had to say everything, and it's just not the same. This concept is also called the hive mind, as almost every intelligent race uses it. Uses it to communicate, as it is much faster, more expressive, efficient, and accurate. Another unforeseeable problem was encountered as primates have far superior emotionally dependent processors than our angel ancestors. Our emotions and the psychic attacks on them had a rather good kick to them on the gods. So it's like they used our gifts, what makes us outstanding, to allow us to be chosen, to be hybridized, to be augmented, because they basically had a choice. It was either the dolphins or the apes, the two smartest. But it's so hard. It was hard for them to choose the dolphins because they're still in water. They had to make hands out of them. They didn't have anything, all these wired memories of grasping and using their hands, of talking. They would be purely telepathic race. So, I mean, it's very, very difficult to have chosen them because they, even though they're far superior than us in intelligence, far superior, it just can't be that you can choose twice a race or twice the same project, unless they're very prolific, which it has been in the case of other species, and well, that's the main reason. And they chose us because we had emotions, and it was very strong, and our emotional IQ was very, very strong, and we kind of did some damage to the gods. So, I mean, why it's damaging is because they can't see the attack, and they're unaware. And I mean, surprise factor is great. So when the Great War ended, all but one god left. Quetzalcoatl, the mind, remained and waited for the sacrifice avatar to return, as one of the denizens is always on the planet. Denizen's a guardian. So when the Freemasons were established by the first only human secret society, he too left, which was Jesus. And what Jesus did was he taught the last chapter, and he brought a little clarity to not just the scriptures, but I mean, by offsetting and teaching us how to manipulate energy and magic, he called the last final guardians to protect the earth. And since then, no one since King Arthur has enlightened, except for Milarepa, which was only by default because King Arthur came. Because King Arthur did a sacrifice energy too. So, and what happens is when you sacrifice, people evolve, and for some reason, innately, in every conscious and in every culture in space, in the galaxy, they always seem to choose one person. One person that the humans choose, and one person that nature chooses. And they both grow together, and finally, they always choose one being. But this has to change, because the only reason why is because we're too smart right now, and we need to help us evolve faster. And when normally it's supposed to be one person is both, but anyways, the principal reasons to permanently seal the Stargate and to shut down the global electromagnetic grids was to evolve the human brain, the emotional mind, and strengthen the human psyche. Before Quetzalcoatl left, he left the important relics, like the Spear of Destiny, the 2 and 3 Excaliburs, Yahweh's Horn, and the famous Ark of Covenant, to contact the other gods, wield supernatural forces, and provide a last defense weapon, similar to the Fifth Element in the titled 1997 movie starring Mila Jovovich, and Beeston, and Bruce Willis. So when the gods left, all the spiritual knowledge was made secret, and the system was designed to produce specific results to the already negative energies that were exposed to us. As a consequence of turning off the electromagnetic field from shutting down the stargates, by taking and burying 2 of the stargates for later proof. So like mentioned before, the negative forces that are apparent all over the world is a normal part of the Kali Yuga. Hence, hell on earth. Except that today, they are abnormally high and in negative aggregate energy. As a consequence of turning off the stargates, the negative energy produces higher than normal influences. As a result of the system's method of reinforcing, not enforcing, but it seems to convey this method. Since we do not have the signs in the spiritual teachings to offset or rather balance these energies, we all suffer from we are all suffering from negative torment or samsara. Yes, this is evil. But let's examine the animal kingdom before we judge too harshly. Like the coach who yells in hockey practice, we all know the animals. We all know. But they commit the first deadly sin, an unforgivable law, which is vaguely not to kill another being. Yet we slaughter and waste food in shameful numbers. It is well documented in the animal kingdom and in the insect world. The stronger dominates, steals, and mates with the female for being stronger. We as a race do far worse. Do birds torture ants because they rip apart their nests?